So, thankfully, Force India has been saved from going through administration, and it's a big thing for Formula One because a team that finished fourth place in the Constructors' Championship last year was so nearly not going to be in Formula One for maybe the rest of the season, but definitely going forward in 2019. So, it is awesome that the team has been saved, but this decision by the person that's owned it has sort of thrown up a lot of people making up a discussion already. So, Lawrence Stroll, father of Lance Stroll, the Formula One driver for Williams, has sort of bought the team in that aspect, or I think the group surrounding him. Loads of little details here and there, but basically Lawrence Stroll's the guy that's put the money forward here to buy Force India. That means going forward, most likely, Lance Stroll is going to be racing for Force India next season, which is already bringing up people talking about that. But let's talk about the whole sort of process so far. I mean, obviously it's devastating that a team that was so good last season, maybe not so good this season, but definitely last season was the one challenging the big three teams. They've just, they shouldn't be having to go through this, and it does sort of show the problem in Formula 1 in that aspect, that teams that are fourth place in the championship should not be having to worry about this sort of thing. They should be just going forward and putting more and more money into making a better and better car, but I think there's just maybe not enough money coming to some of the smaller teams like Force India, and that's a big worry going forward. I mean, if more teams could face the same problems, if maybe the prize money isn't sort of so evenly spread out. I mean, Ferrari still get a massive amount more than everyone else, even though they haven't won a Drivers' or Constructors' Championship for a very, very long time. So I guess that's where it all started. They weren't maybe getting quite enough prize money, and I guess they haven't really had enough sponsorship. Yes, Sergio Perez has got obviously a lot of money, and then the BWT sponsorship as well, but maybe they needed even more money because Formula One is just so expensive. So that's obviously how it's all got into the issue of Force India having to go into administration, but thankfully, there were quite a lot of people interested. Of course, a team that's been so good, obviously through its Jordan years as well, it was a very, very good team. It went through a not so good year with the Midland and Spiker, but then Force India, they took it on board. The first year wasn't too successful. The second year, they got a podium, and pretty much ever since, they've sort of been battling in the top 10 every single season. So it's a team that deserves to be in Formula One, that's for sure. But it was obviously quite sad news to hear they were going through administration, but the fact that they were such a good team for so many years means that I think a lot of people were interested. So many people putting in bids. I think obviously some people thinking they had deals sorted. I think it was with Rich Energy. I think an energy drinks company thought they had the sort of secure takeover of Force India, but that never went through. I think that was like 30 million or something they bid. So a lot of money trying to save Force India in that regard, but that didn't go through. And then I'm not sure whether that was before or after they went into administration. Obviously the dates are a little bit, we don't know for sure, but whether they were saving them from administration or trying to stop them going into administration, Rich Energy couldn't put through that deal, which was unfortunate at the time. But thankfully, someone has stepped in now and saved them. The administrators have taken on board the offer from Lawrence Stroll, which I'm assuming was a vast sum of money. I don't think it probably won't confirm the exact details here. I've got the article up here just to make sure I try and get my facts completely on point. But yeah, it doesn't look like there's an actual number. But the most important thing is over 400 people saved their jobs or kept their jobs because of this funding going forwards from Lawrence Stroll. Force India, a team that's been in Formula One for, over 10 years now. Going into like their 12th or 13th season next year. They've been in Formula One a very, very long time, and they don't deserve to be brutally cut like they were possibly going to be, if they didn't find the money going forward. So it is really, really good. And Lawrence Stroll, obviously I don't know him personally, but from what I've read, a lot of people seem to say he makes good business decisions. He's grew a lot of big brands in his time, and of course that's why he's a very successful gentleman. So hopefully going forward, he'll make some fantastic decisions for Force India, meaning that hopefully they'll be able to keep going forward and forward, because until this year, where they've gone into a bit of a dip, I guess because of other teams going up, like Renault for example, they've generally been on the up since their incarnation in 2008. 2008 was their first season. And then obviously, as I said, they got decent in 2009 with a couple of one-off good results here and there. And then 2010 onwards, they've been just consistently pretty good and just getting better and better each season. So I think that there's the possibility here that Force India could turn into that team once again that's battling with the top 3, maybe top 4 if Renault turn into one of those big teams like they were a couple of seasons ago, 10 years ago now, 10, even 15 years ago nearly now. But yeah, they obviously can definitely join them on a much smaller budget, and they have been sort of relying on over the last couple of years to manage to sort of battle away with some of those big teams. And if Lawrence Stroll keeps putting in the money in, and fingers crossed he does, because I love Force India. They're a team that trusted my favourite driver, Adrian Sudal, for so many years, and obviously they had some really good times together, and that's the reason why I always love Force India, even though I don't support their current drivers maybe as much as I did in the past. I was still always loved the team because they sort of did a lot for me. They were the team I loved growing up, especially. I mean, my years in Formula 1 started before they were in the sport, but once they had Adrian Sudal and all that sort of stuff, I was like, I love these guys for life. So it's fantastic they're staying in Formula 1. Of course, it was a big worry that we could have seen over 400 people lose their jobs. We could have seen one of the biggest teams on the grid in terms of outperforming their budget, at least, lost from the grid if we didn't have someone coming in and helping. So it's really, really good, and unfortunately it does mean obviously Vijay Mallya won't be at the top anymore. He put a lot of his money into the team. Obviously, I don't want to get into the details of that, but he did do quite a lot of good stuff for the sport, and he did a lot of good stuff for Force India. And obviously, I'm not sure about all the other stuff, sort of stuff. I don't even want to get into that, all the political stuff, but he did do a lot of stuff for Force India, and I think he does need to be thanked in that regard for bringing someone into Formula 1 and keeping a team quite steadily in Formula 1 for so many years. So whilst it's sad to see him go, it's great to see someone else like Lawrence Stroll and all his backers come in and hopefully put even more money in. So yeah, I'm happy it's happened. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about that. But let's talk up the drivers quickly, because I'm going to be doing a driver prediction video in the next couple of days. Because I made one before, and then the day after I made it, Renault announced Ricciardo, which I don't think anybody expected. So yeah, I kind of scuppered that video idea that I needed to still edit at that time. So yeah, I'll need to refilm that, and yeah, I'll put in some of the clips in that video of my original predictions, because they were quite funny. Yeah, looking back at it now. So drivers going forward for Force India, it looks most likely Esteban Ocon will leave Force India at the end of this season. Where he goes, we have no idea. Of course, there's no seat in Mercedes, which are his sort of parent company in a way. He was linked to go back to Renault, but that's not going to happen anymore because they've got 2 drivers for next season. And yeah, where else would he go? I mean, when you think about it, Ocon's been very good in Formula 1, but maybe Mercedes are now focusing on someone like George Russell coming through in Formula 2, currently leading the championship. Maybe they're focusing on George Russell to be their next hope in Formula 1, and maybe looking at Ocon as much as a driver to come in, and obviously that puts Pascal Wehrlein even lower down on the pecking order if they do decide to promote George Russell up to their number 1 priority of the young driver. So yeah, I think that next season most likely the driver lineup will be Sergio Perez. He's been very good in Formula 1 over the last couple of years. I think he was one of the few drivers to score over 100 points in 2 or 3 consistent seasons, except from the big 3 teams. I think actually he was the only driver to score over 100 points for I think it was 2 or 3 seasons, whilst those big 3 teams were so dominant. So he was a driver that did so much, and trying to battle the top teams and finish 7th place in the championship, obviously best of the rest for so many years. And I think he will stay. It makes just logical sense. Obviously he's got great backers as well from Mexico that will help fund the team as well. And I think Lance Stroll probably will be the number 2 driver in that team, or will come in as a second driver. Hopefully he'll learn a lot from Sergio Perez, and hopefully, just fingers crossed, they don't give Stroll complete favourable treatment, because yes, his father owns the team, but there's still so much to be learned from Sergio Perez. So I think if they just give them equal status, that would be good. But obviously when a father or a family member owns the team that the son or daughter will race in, it kind of makes it a little bit maybe awkward for the mechanics or the engineers. They don't want to do anything bad to that driver because they don't want anything to happen. So yeah, I think going forward the lineup will be Perez and Stroll. Famous last words when it all goes crazy in the next couple of hours between me making this video and actually going upload on YouTube. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen. Fingers crossed this time. We don't want that to happen again. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. They're always interesting to read, so please leave that in the comment section. So yeah, thanks for watching. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys around soon. Goodbye.